Okay, pretty sure you can guess what this video is going to be about since I have a zipper in front of me. So this is the clutch video, and this is just going to be a knife edge. It's not going to be a gusset, but I will show you a sample of a gusset, or kind of potentially how I do a gusset, because I do have one that's 3/4 of the way done. So let's just jump right in. And the first thing that we're going to do now, typically um, you would not see it like this. You'd have your waist canvas all the way around it. I'd like you to leave a 1/2 of an inch, or because this is a 1/2 an inch, at least an inch beyond, because it'll make your life easier for gluing over the um, waste canvas onto the heavy interfacing. Um, we only use a machine to sew the zipper and to sew the lining for the interior at this for this kind, because just like any other time, if you know me and you've watched my videos, I can't stand writing out needlepoint because I feel like it shifts and it doesn't, when you turn it wrong sides, certain designs, sometimes when they're in 13 mesh or they are um, silk and ivory, something about 13 mesh and silk and ivory that just doesn't lend itself to blocking and having it stay. So why take the chance once you've got it blocked to go ahead and move forward and just write it and have it go out of block? So what I came up with this idea also because I am not a wizard on a sewing machine by a far cry. And I was like, I do not know how I'm going to do this without being able to do all these steps that a traditional way to sew it together would be. And I just said, you know what? Maybe I do it just like I do my eyeglass cases, but I keep this edge. I do the first part the way a traditional piece would be done, and then I can wrap it around interfacing after. So this is it. This is how I do them. And I will be doing a eyeglass case shortly with a zipper to show you as well. And that one has a gusset. So while I'll briefly show the gusset in this, you'll be able to see me sew that on by hand and how I put it together, because with a clutch, 2 seams hand sewn has to have cording typically, so let's just save that for that. So usually what I would do is I would take a pencil line and put it well, actually I can still. Of course, my mechanical pencil is missing in action. So we're gonna do it to there. I really don't need to trace this. And we're lining our zipper up to that 3rd row, okay? If you're doing so I want the zipper to pull from the right to the left. And if you're doing one with a gusset, you need to make sure to sew along the edge to accommodate the width. Otherwise, your zipper area is really thin. If you sew it here, you'll understand in a minute. Okay. So now that we know we're going from the right to the left, well, Kelly, that zipper is so long. What the heck? It's intentionally long. Usually it's more long for the other type of makeup case where you have to, where it's all one piece and you have to sew all the seams together because it's double-sided needlepoint. But also, I just find being able to not have the zipper right here so that as I'm stitching, I have to fight this being in my way as I'm using my sewing machine. Let's just avoid that altogether. Okay, here we go. Let's get this pinned on. And I'm going to start. So I want to put my stopper about 3 stitches in from the end. Because, why, Kelly? Oh, because when we wrap this around a piece of interfacing, we're going to turn that to the side, and we don't want to take a chance of having to deal with that, messing around with, oh goodness, I got the wrong pin cushion, that we're not going to be able to turn it over. So we will pin it like that. And I like to try to come up right next to where the metal zipper is. Okay, where the, so you can see that the zipper's here. So, yeah, that's just how I do it. It definitely is easier when you have the appropriate amount of waste canvas beyond. Just gives you more to hold on to. I'm gonna smash that down. So this, you'll like this. This also lends itself to, if you're looking at it, you're going, okay, Kelly, how am I gonna see where? Yeah, so we're pinning it from this side, but we will be turning it over to stitch it right along the edge. Yep, that's okay. And there. It really helps to have the extra at this end. And we have very little at this end because of the corner. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on. I'm going to pull my sewing machine over here. Okay. It's never that easy to see when we have the sewing machine. But if you've seen me do this in the past, I make the camera go all crazy for a second, and doing it live is always such a treat. So now, here we are on, because I don't sew blind. It's one of the reasons why I hate doing self-welt. For those who do self-welt and find it to be so easy, and I love it, and it's fast, and how could you ever do sewn-on cording? I take my hats off to you. You are fabulous sewers, and it shows you how not everybody can do everything. And so I just said, you know what? This isn't worth having it in my wheelhouse if it's going to make me nuts. So I'm putting this right I'm sewing right into that top line of stitching. Okay, well that's the plan. Doesn't mean it's going to happen very well, but that's what we're doing. Okay, take that one out. And I am 3 stitches in. I am not perfectly on that corner. Ooh, ooh. You know what I just realized? I just realized that I left a really long stitch on there. I might... Okay, here we go. We locked it. Now we're going forward. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to doing this bit. I do not want to go into deep into the stitches. Now I do have cording prepared for this, but in the past I have been able to get away with not using it. Because of it being a knife edge and using the ladder stitch. Take this out. You can see because I had to put the tacks in there and pull a little bit that it's kind of woo, so it's definitely doesn't appear as straight as it would if you didn't have, if you just had one that wasn't redone. And again, don't go all the way to the end. Okay. All right. Raise it up. Pull it out. Huh? Nice and even, I think, for the most part. I'm going to push that back, push this back. I'm just going to push over. Okay. That. Oh, excellent. I see no waste canvas along the edge. Yes, we love that. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to pull that back a little more. All right. So the next part we have to do is we have to put our interfacing on. Okay. So what did I do with mine? Yeah, I said everything everywhere. What can I do? So I am going to measure. All right. And I'm going to go, because of the thickness of these stitches, now you're going, Kelly, well, why don't you just, measure it and not worry about it? And you know what I forgot to do? Hold on. as you have seen from me in the past, is I always hold, please. So I almost broke my own rule. And that's the rule where to get my most accurate measurement that we're going to turn these edges over. Okay. And you're not just pulling it up, you're taking that first stitch and flattening, bending the canvas there. You're not burying it behind, but you are pulling it so that it makes that edge squared off. So the reason why we do this and don't just guess, it just gives us the most accurate way to measure our piece to accommodate how much we have to bring it in, because this is thickly stitched. It's beautiful basket weave, and so all of this thickness has to be accommodated. Now I am going to nip, dart, 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 dart it, and just pull. So you might be looking at this going, oh my gosh, look at that corner. It's not a big deal. It's just not. It's okay. If you get something like that, don't worry about it. I know you're saying, but Kelly, I haven't been doing this for as long as you have, and it freaks me out. Well, it used to freak me out. Not anymore. Because I've learned that those corners just get glued in, pushed up. It all works out. All right. I know I kind of am like all thumbs, but I do have to make accommodations for certain. But you'll be surprised that not so much. Now, if you had a standard canvas and it's new, you're going to do an angle cut 45 there, 45 there, so that the corners come together in a nice bevel. And you're going to take your tips and you're going to, that little tag that's going to stay there, and you're just going to pull off all of the extra schniblets, waste canvas, but leave the long pieces, and then that way you can pull it up and keep it nice and square. Can you even see that? Of course you can't. There you go. So you're going to do 45-degree angle cutting that way, like if you were making an envelope. Yeah, I make envelopes. I know. Who's crazy makes envelopes? 45 there, and then you'd be left with a little corner tab. You pull all of the extra waste canvas out of it, like I kind of did a few seconds ago on the other corners, and then you can just pull that up, and you'll have a very nice tidy corner. Okay, now I'm going to get my iron over here. Come on, stop thinking about steaming and get steaming. So I dropped my iron out of the car the other day. So it's probably angry at me. It's like, really? How am I supposed to work after you just let me fall out of the door? Now we turn it to the front so that I can make sure that I'm getting all of those stitches the way I want them. Okay? Ooh, well, hello, truck driver. Okay, and now we'll do this side. I can tell that that shifted a little. Not really gonna worry about that spot yet. Okay, pull it around that side. That looks great. See how tight that nice and square that corner is gonna be? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right. Now, I'm not going to worry as much about this because everything's going to get glued down. I can do it. Why not? Ooh, I just made the camera steamy. Okay. Now, pull this out of the way. And using the leading edge of our iron so we do not burn our fingers. Get a little steam on there. Yeah, there you go. Push that over. Okay, like so. Good on this side. Very good, very good. That side. Now, let it lay like that while it cools. And it didn't go out of shape when I steamed it. Love that. Okay. If little schniblets all over. Okay, let's bring this in. So knowing that I'm going to do 8.5. I have no short-term memory. And basically leaving an 1/8. So I'm going to do 5 and 5/8. All right. Now, for the back piece, this is a jean velveteen, I think. It's supposed to be denim type of faux denim. It's quite heavy. So for the back, we are probably going to end up with a piece that is very similar to the size of this. Okay. All right. Now, I don't think I need this board now. Hold on. So I'm getting rid of that. Boop. Because I can't sit closer to the table with that giant board there. Rotary tool. Gotta love that. Right. So. That is definitely not square on that side. Are you square on this side? No, not even close. So it was 8.5. Right. 3/4. Eight and okay. So this interfacing will have twofold of good things for this particular piece because it'll help hold this square, and since this was done before, we like to make sure that it's not going to get all shifty over time. All right. Not that it's a bad person, it's shifty. Okay. Look at that. That's pretty straight. Gotta love that. Alright, so I'm going to put this up. But one way to check your square is by checking, you've got to make sure you're centered on each side. And we're going to start with the top, right? And I'm pulling this. I give it a second before I start to touch it because I want a good bead of glue there. Okay. And if I touched it right away, I would burn the heck out of my fingers. Let's not do that. We have enough, because this left hand doesn't have the asbestos nature that my right hand does. So I got some silicone fingertip protectors for classes, and they worked fabulously. People really loved them. Sorry to all my other students that only had the smashers available for doing recording. Alright. Now we're going to do the opposite side. Alright. There we go. I'm going to make sure to really pull that up and around. Now, you don't want to pick it up like this and pull it, because if you make it end up bowing up, then it could shorten it too much. So what you want to make sure to do, make sure you're centered again. Yes, that's where you can check your square or not. This is where blocking this is an essential thing. This particular piece took a couple days to block, did a light spray, did a steam, did a light spray with the sizing, did a steam. Let it sit for a day. Did it again just to make sure. So I'm pulling this up. Okay. So you're going to have a nice square edge for them to butt up against each other. Okay. just like that. Okay. Now most of the time what I do, you may see me break this rule a lot. I'm injecting a little glue down in there because I can see that that's not solid, is I wait to turn the corner bits over until I've gotten both sides secured. Okay, it's not that that's apparently how my brain says it works best in the past. So I just always do it that way. Because sometimes my brain is right. It's not the majority of the time, but some of the time. Okay, I'm going to break my rule of not lifting because now I need to get this pulled around and there's just not as much there. Now you can see that I need to cut that down a little bit so I don't have a lot of bulk there. You see that? Okay. All right. And I'm going to do this corner in down here because these little shreddy bits didn't get in. And boop, like that. Now, the way that I deal with corners and all these little shreds, bring your glue in, make a V with your fingers, and just bring it up like that. So you're supporting both sides, and then you're pressing it down. Now, you're never going to have pointy, pointy, pointy corners because the fibers kind of don't lend it. But you get pretty good corners. All right, let's see how we can do with this one. I can see that this needs to be pushed way up. Need to inject some glue through that canvas. Okay. And I'm going to push that up. Okay, like that. Like that. Okay. And now I'm going to put some glue on here. And again, now there's a lot of bulk there, but don't worry, I'll work it off. I try not to have the roundy corners on these purses. That's not too bad. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Let's do our last side. Mm-hmm. And you definitely want to pull this up. You always want to make sure that you have your one side that you've stabilized and then do the opposite side, so when you pull it up nice and taut, it'll be taut across the front because you're pulling it and you're pulling that on the underside. All right, now, okay, take that and that, and then we're going to go that, and then little V, and put it down. Okay, just like that. All right. And this side, kind of glued that part of the zipper down. All right. All right. Let's look at the front because I can't see because I got that zipper stitched too closely. Okay. Reheat it with my glue gun so that I can manipulate it some more. All right. Okay. Just like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yay. Oh. So now so this is the heavy interfacing. Pretty sure I have the supply list for this for clutches on my website. But if you look at the leaf supply list, you'll see a lighter weight interfacing, and that's what we're going to use for the back side. And why am I using it for the back side? Because uh, that shouldn't go out of shape, and I'm really just using the interfacing on the back side so that I don't know how to put it, it expands a little nicer, but I can still do the hand sewing on the edge. Okay, so I am going to right now do this, and I am going to move it down so I can actually see. Yeah, I'm gonna do it 8.5 because we have to accommodate for this fabric that's a little thicker. And just shy of 5.5. Actually, we'll do it 5.5 because when we did it, no, 5 3/4. All right. So now the next thing is taking our piece of material. All right, this is down. Oops. That's down. So now we're going to kind of line it up with our denim stripiness. Pull it around. And you know what? I'm going to square off this edge. Bing. And why am I doing that? Well, here's why. Because, I'll show you in a second. When my when I look at my zipper and it's closed, oops, I just took some of my ruler out there. That's not great. All right. So I want a straight edge here because then I can do this. See how, can you see how it kind of arches? Put it down a little closer. See how it arches? I don't want that. I want this to be straight. And I don't want it to shut funky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this zipper. Am I? No, I'm going to pin it on there straight. Okay. I'm going to use this leading edge. And why am I doing this way instead of the way I just started to do it? Well, because that the chunkiness of this piece could make my silly foot on my machine be stupid. So let's just be wise as we can be with it. Because this time we will be sewing it. Oh yeah, come on you. All right, I know that you guys love the clips. Don't use the clips, they'll mar this and you'll have little tab marks on this side of the material and you'll see it where it's compressed the velveteen. So why did I use this material? Anybody who asks me knows why I choose specific materials. It's all about the color, it's all about the color, it's all about the color. So the person that stitched this, stitched it in this almost black navy, trying to find fabric that matches it perfectly is not easy, and especially in a fabric that is appropriate. Oof, this does not want to go straight. That's appropriate for what we're doing here. Just doesn't. And so even though we love certain colors, does not mean we should. It's always wise to be aware of trends in fabrics that are available. And you know, you can say that about any color, that, oh, reds are so hard, greens are so hard. They're all hard, especially when, you know, we know what it's like to find a nice yellow in fibers. It's getting better. It definitely is getting better. So now I'm looking at where I hit this, and it looks like it is about 1/8, occasionally more. Isn't that interesting? There's a 1/4. Oh dear. So I have a lovely pencil. All right, here we go, here we go. So you always have that front of the zipper to your material, okay? Here we go. So again, here's the end. We're going to start in, so basically I'm going to be running this foot right along on the zipper. Fabulous. Oy. It's a challenge. We're going to come a little beyond because again, we still have to deal with gotta take my shoe off. Wrapping this one around a piece of interfacing, even if the interfacing is thinner. At this point, I would like to say something that was brought up in class and how terrifying it can be to cut your own canvas, but it is even more intimidating as a professional who now is cutting a stranger's canvas, and you can see all of the hard work of the various stitches, or even if it's basket weave, that's a lot of time that they will never get back if you don't do it right. And so the respect that I have for everybody's piece is a very great one, because also, as you know, or most of you should know, I don't actually stitch. I could stitch, it's just not my passion. Alright. Aya, where is it? They changed that. Okay. I'm just gonna move it out of my way. Right over there. Okay. Now. Okay. Take that out. Not too bad of the foot. That's another problem that you can have. That zipper can smash it just as easily as little clips or a variety of other things. Okay. So now we cut out our lighter weight interfacing. And I actually think that's, yep, square on this side. All right, let's bring it up. So we're doing 5 3/4. Now, I doubt that this is going to be very fun to deal with because this material isn't going to have as hard of an edge. Maybe I might have to switch this interfacing out if it doesn't do well. 8.5. And I need something a little heavier to go around it. Okay, there. Now, put this up like, bend that stitched edge over. Okay, and so you can see the difference. Nope, that's not one. You can see the difference in the interfacing. So it's my hope that it'll be a little, it'll accommodate more in a purse if it has more expansive ability. It's not that this one isn't bendy, but you know, why not? So what we do is fold that over so that we can see approximately. See, looks like that's pretty good for matching the opposite side. Now it's going to be a little short because we're accommodating material. So I am going to come here and adjust the material. There's that 45-degree angle I was talking about. Not hitting. I'm not cutting the zipper. Okay. All right. Serpentine, serpentine, serpentine. Okay. And smash it down. Right. Now, take this. Cut that excess off there. There. Right. Go ahead and do this side. All right. And now, right, staying an 1/8 of an inch away from this interfacing. I don't want to accidentally see darts on the other side or on the edge. You can see a little white mark. No, thank you. So I'm taking out a dart there. This is how you would do it on your waste canvas. Okay. A little smear. Lots of good contact. We're going to bring it. Did I get it up close enough? It's so thick, I'm afraid that I am mashing this, that the interfacing is getting bent. That's one good vote for, okay, it's not. Having the heavier so you can really feel where that edge is. Okay, there's that. Worst case, we put a little steam over the top of it, make the glue pop open, and we put a heavier piece in there. Not really a big deal. But you can see, boop, boop. See how it doesn't lay down, unlike the other one? Don't worry, it will, because we're pinning it right to the edge. So for your clutch, I'm going, if this is your first one, what am I cutting into? If this is your first clutch, I would advise using the heavy interfacing on the front and the back, so you're not battling this thinner piece bowing up. So I'm holding it flat like this. I'm putting in my darts. Okay, 45, 45. Okay. So I handle the corners on the material a little differently. Obviously, we kind of have to because it is not needlepoint canvas, and so it behaves differently. Okay. All right. And I'm going to take that right down to practically nothing. Okay. And take that little bit and bring it down first. Okay. I'm going to pull that bit in second. I'm going to take that piece out like so. Now, if you get a little smear where you don't want it, don't worry about it. It will pull off like there. Don't worry, it comes right off. I know it's a little far away, but you can see it. You can see it. You can see it right in there. Okay. So that's going to lay down over that anyway. I'm not going to worry about there. Okay. I'm going to go in a tiny bit more. Do the same thing, little V and over. Okay. All right, that's better. As far as that whole boop and up thing, it'll lay down once I get this side done. Okay. If not, the steamy iron's coming out and we're cracking it back open again. Okay. Again, 1/8 away. Need a harder angle on that. I'm going to pull that around now. Okay. Sure. So just because, so that whole thing I was talking about where I couldn't feel it through, it's just because of how so this has all of these little lines, vertical. And so this side folds easier. They both do, obviously. Because there is like little tiny scores in the material. I would have much rather used ultra suede. But that just was not going to happen. Okay, I don't like that corner, so I'm going to pull it back. It's not square enough. It's not pointy. It's lost its pointiness. Fortunately, when you put the cording around the edge, which I'm pretty sure just because of the material that this is, that I'm going to have to do it. Not that you'll even see it against this dark. So I reheated a little. That didn't help my squareness much, but when they come together, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not definitely, well, I don't know, maybe it is as square as the other thing. That's the needlepoint corner. When the cord goes around that corner, it's going to round it slightly anyway, just because of the thickness of the cord. Okay. So now, make it tiny there. Get off there. And make a tiny dart there. Let's see if the 3 will help this a little bit. So we can go that way with 1. All right. So that one. Boop. Goes up like that. And then, ay. No. I think I just smeared that on my material. But it pulled off, so we're okay. All right. We're okay. It's on the side. Dark colors are not forgiving with this. Okay. All right, are we ready? It's about to look like a clutch. Got so many schniblets all over the place. Look at that. Ta-da. Okay, now let's take a look. Yahoo! It's pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit. Oh no, it's just because I was thinking it was a little too small, but it's not. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to pin the front to the back. And we do this up to there. Right. And this is where we have to look and see as we're doing it how it's going to close and if I got it too close to the end, which I may have. So we're just going to pull it in. Ugh. Back some. There. That one should be okay. I'm gonna nip this so that when I fold it in, like so, it's not going to be too stupid. I may regret that in the future. No, because we're only nipping it up to the, so like that. And then I can stuff that down in if I need to. Because the lining is going to come right up to that sewn bit. I just don't want too much bulk. And this side is super fine. And we are going to leave about, I don't know, 1.5 inches. Now, people that actually sew are going to go, Kelly, that's not how you do it. I don't doubt that. Yeah, don't doubt that at all. Put you over like that and like that. Right. And then you. I'm trying to fold these back. Should probably just put a pin on each one, but that would make too much sense. I usually just kind of cram them down in there after I've got it all pinned together. All right. So shift it over just a tiny bit. And I'm going to pin the material down into the needle point. I have thinner profile needles, pins that I'm trying to find. Not that it should make a difference because this weirdo velveteen should be fine and not show, you know, like massive hole marks, pin marks. Okay. So I know you're sitting there going, huh, we're done. No, we're not done. You know we're not done. Okay. What's really interesting is once you, look at that. Once you hand sew it together, you get in there. I will deal with you later. Come on, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Yep, that's where I want it. So, open that up so that I can really cram that zipper out of the way. I know, you're like, I can't see what you're doing. Better, I hope. I'm grabbing the material, pushing down in, trying not to just stab it into my mat. Right? Mm-hmm. Hold on. Let me shift that back over a little. Does that help a little? No. Right. And so once I get this edges hand sewn together, they kind of all shift and equalize. It's not like with a sewing machine as much. So bonus us. It'll kind of correct itself, and what I mean by that is that you're kind of, you know, pulling this and manipulating this material over, but it'll have a nicer edge. Let me push that zipper in a little further so that I can open it a little more too. Pull those two together so that as I stitch around, I don't have a huge gap that I'm trying to pull against to close. Okay? I don't know, because I always use curved needles. I don't know how the difference between them will be as far as trying to use a straight versus a curve. My friend, she uses a straight, but she kind of has a bend in it so that it sort of works like a curve. Do whatever works for you. So now, lining. I know, we haven't sewn it together yet. Who cares? We're still going to get this part out of the way, so it's just a boop, 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 and, you know, we're on the home stretch kind of deal. Right? So this is how I do my linings. Wait, you've seen my eyeglass case? Well, it's exactly the same way. Okay, so this has been treated with a paint on waterproofing. I did not do it. Uh, Jennifer did it for me. I will have to get a hold of her for the product name. And because it's a cosmetic bag, so I'm going to put this right just hanging off about 1/8 of an inch. Ow! Doggone it. Little turkey sticking through. Okay, can you see that? Yeah, it doesn't want to show you on the other one. There. Yeah, about there. Gotta make it go up though. Sorry, guys. Okay. And the reason we make it go up is because I want you to be able to see what I do up here. Ready? So where you're at the top, you put a angle up. Okay? And angle up. Then from that line, you trace the purse down. Okay. Boom. All right. Now bring it in 1/4 of an inch. This is where I will stitch. Okay. Typically, it fits in pretty darn close. Now, why do I do the angle up instead of just stopping right up, straight up here? Because just in case it's a little bigger than I actually want, the purse is a little bigger than what I sewed up to, these angles will allow me to let that flare a little bit, and it just works for me. Now, does it mean that I end up folding it over to the back at this area? Sometimes, but that's the point of having a little bit of wiggle room to be able to deal with it. All right, I gotta change my threads out. Hold, please. Okay, here we go. No, I don't pin it. I don't bother. Unless it's really slippery material, maybe I'll throw a couple in there. But I usually just hold it down. And I start right up at that angle in. And I round the corners a little because I do. I don't know why. I know, I always say, there's a reason why I do everything. That one, not so much. Probably because cleaning little tight corners out isn't fun. I don't know. And we lock it in. the end for you. The end, night. Put my shoe back on. Now we're going to trim off the excess. About 1/2 inch up, I angle it back like that. And do the other side. Look at all that schmutz. Extra bits. Out. I'm going to turn it this way. Aha! Pretty much went at the correct angle. Okay. All right. Oh, joy and rapture. Okay, I'm going to take a second to show you the gusset that I promised to show you earlier. So, for a gusseted purse, okay, all I'm doing is taking the fusible, or not fusible, the interfacing, the heavy interfacing, creating a 1/2 inch piece, wrapping the material around it, measure this side, cut a piece, measure that, cut it, cut this piece from measuring here, and then measure here and cut another piece, and do it just like I do the material for boxes, where you lay them all in a row and you bend them up. You'll see that part in the eyeglass case video. But all you're doing essentially is pinning this in between the front and the back. Okay, that's it. And then once you have that, the key to this is now you are going to have to use a curved needle to pull in and sew the gusset in by hand. I still end up, especially with ultra suede, I put cording on it. Not necessarily across the top, okay, because that's fine, but I put it down the side and around. Kind of can do something like that. That corner looks a little, I'm probably going to redo that gusset because I'm not liking how short it is on both sides. I don't know why that happened. So anyway, okay, so here we are. We're ready to get to the boring part. Yes, the boring part. So let me do this. Okay. And I set up a new kind of little thing. So when I'm hand sewing, what happens is that I need to set things on my lap a lot of the time. And when I do that, what happens is that the darkness that is my pants and below the floor makes the auto light like blow out the color, and it's kind of hard to watch. And so I have put a light piece of cloth across my lap in an effort to not have it go nuts. All right. Okay. All of a sudden I panicked that my microphone wasn't on because I didn't see a lot of movement on it. So I am going to use my heavier weight Dritz curved needle to do this part. Okay. Because I'm going to be, oh, Kelly. Let's put a knot in this. Okay. How do we do knots? Oop, grab a little more of the tail than that. You go make your circle, bring the tail through 1, 2, 3 times, and pull it tight. Okay. And then we do put the knot where your finger is there. Pad 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we keep holding that knot to get it to tighten down on the first knot. Cut it off. Okay. Set it with some glue. Ugh. I just pulled that right out of my needle because I'm brilliant. Need darkness behind there. Okay. Yeah. Oop. Up it goes. All right. So when I sew material to needlepoint, I always sew it make sure I'm not going out of focus. Okay. I always sew this way where I'm grabbing the material and coming into the needlepoint. All right. So I'm going to start down here in the needlepoint. I'm going to come right up to the top. Okay. Ow. Trying to move my curved needle and I totally just stabbed myself in the chest. Brilliant. Some glue in that corner so it's not as happy. I have a lamp that likes to go, and its head goes down. Now that little, I don't know if you can see the little fuzzy fray. No. Thank you, navy fabric. You're nothing like, it's nothing like being so dark that our eyes, it kills our eyes or doesn't allow us to photograph you. So I'm grabbing that bit of fabric like that, okay? Now, the reason we always use fusible interfacing is because, especially something like velveteen, it does not love a curved needle. Doesn't like any needles. It loves to rip right through whatever you're trying to do. Dang, if that makes that nice of an edge, I might not be putting cording down this. I'll have to see once it kind of relaxes and flexes. So what I'm doing is I am pushing the purse edge to meet the edge, because it's, when I pinned it in, it was pinned a little high on the side. Oh, something's tickling my nose. Excuse me. Probably some stray short hair since my haircut. Okay. Let's find our center here. What I meant by that was to get in the zone. Not sure that that's going to happen. The other thing you want to do is you want to be grabbing low enough in your material so that you can't see a shine from your fishing line. Oh, this pins is sticking out. I don't want to stick my finger with it and end up bleeding on this piece. Urgh. But luckily, saliva takes it out, so. There's a chance you can get rid of it. Ow! Oh, these freaking pins. Whoever put these in needs to be fired. Ah. Okay, now I just went up way into the corner material. Okay, why did I do that? Well, I can see my little dart there. So I'm going to use this time. Oh, I gotta come back here. This is the moment where I'm going to take this and I'm going to curl that under. and hide it the best that I can. And for as much as I say, oh, I'm not going to do the carding, I probably will, because there's something about having a little finished edge. All right, I got a lot of glue on my needle, so yeah, you saw it, didn't you? I just put my hands on my T-zone of grease, and for whatever reason, the oil on my face takes the glue off your needle. Well, the hot glue at least. Okay, so we're gonna bring that down. Now you got rolled under a little, probably because there's some short bits. Ah. Okay. Hold on. I have to make sure that wasn't in. Okay. Back to it. So it's interesting how you start to analyze how you do things when you do classes like this or videos like this, and how I hold the piece perpendicular to myself, and because trying to go like this didn't work for me, you just have to even if you start using a curved needle on just 2 pieces of fabric, don't try to do it on needlepoint first thing. Give yourself a break. Start on a couple pieces of fabric and just get a little more comfortable with holding one. If you have to use a bigger one because it's easier, that's okay. For a long time, I did not use this size. I only used the what is it, 2.5, which is the bigger one. The only thing you have to do is make sure that you are taking small enough chomps. You know, if you need a refined edge, you need to keep it refined edge. Okay, so I got a little piece of waste canvas that's popped out that we don't need popping out. So let's cram it back in there. There's the navy part of it. There. Okay, right back in. This is why I say, even with tiny bits, we're able to still make this into what it needs to be. So if you end up doing something and you're like, great, I ruined it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You need to just stop, take it apart as gently as possible. Oh, come on. Now, some people will say to me, well, that's when I get the marker out. Or that's, you know, and it's fine if that's your piece. But this is not my piece. And I am going to make it work. So hopefully I'll be able to cover that. Trying to pull some of the fiber up to recover it. It won't be visible at all. All right, we are cruising here, almost done. Do, 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 do. But yeah, don't be afraid. Use the big needle. So I've been doing a lot of hand sewing. Crazy, crazy. And my hands are telling me, oh, can't you switch back to doing something else for a while? No. Got stuff to do. Now, I want to make sure I can see that little zipper is poking out right there. And I can see that my pin Didn't want to stay where I put it, but that's okay. 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 Wow. Dang. So I'm bowing this out with my two back fingers so that the seams will, my ring finger and pinky finger. Pinky. That doesn't sound right. Pinky finger. Okay. Like that. Like that. I'm going to reverse direction. Bring it down like that. Okay. Right. There. Sewn together. Yeah. Ooh, ooh. Come on, behave yourself. I gotta get a knot in this thing. Find some canvas there. So we go 1, 2, 3. Oh, guess what? You wanna be goofy? Go ahead and be goofy. Back down. We take our tail and oof, pull it up through. Okay. Always drag the tail away. Never cut the knot right at it because it'll unfurl under a tiniest bit of pressure. Okay. Look at that. Oh, I like this much better with the thinner on the back. Much better. I think for pieces, you know, I don't mind the difference between the front and the back either. Oof. Love it, love it. Yay. I love it when something comes together like that. And I really don't feel, I don't think it needs it. I do not think it needs the cording. Yeah. Okay. So now comes the fun bit. So I've misplaced my doll needle. Typical. Hold on. All right. I need to get these kind of, set it down for 2 seconds and I lose it again. This is what I think I'm gonna do just to get it to stay where I want it to stay while I'm working on it. Come on, you. that. Push that back, back. Hold it down, down. Okay. Oof. Perfect. Because, you know, you can see that in the void cavernousness of this loveliness. Let's see how it zips up. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Very nice. I think that's very nice. I like it when it happens when I'm actually teaching it. And it isn't some big nasty problem that makes my eye twitch. Okay. So now I'm going to take my lining. I'm just going to look approximately how much I'm turning under. Okay, just like that. Open it up. And I am going to take it right down to where we sewed it to. Ooh, looks like I went a little high on this side. So somehow I magnetized the ends of my scissors. Some little bit of broken eye there from one of my curved needles. Lovely. Okay. I think that's a little more even. Okay. Now, I'm going to pop it in for just a second. Okay. All right. I just want to see the height. Well, if I put it like that, oh, that's plenty of, so I'm putting it right up to the edge of the needle point. Plenty of room. Okay, and I can see that this is a little, nope, that's right, because I put the pencil line on this side. I traced it that way down just in case it's a little shifty. You will know which way you traced it so that this pencil line should be up towards this. Now you're like, well, it should be square, Kelly. Well, yeah, it should be. Trust me. Not always. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put in a few darts. Why we do this? Well, we do this because this is going to flex. And when it flexes, I don't want to see weird kinks along the top. I do not go close to this edge because I do not, just in case, I need to make it a little taller because it's way too short for in there. Because I really try to get the maximum amount of use out of the depth of a bag. It's a just in case we called it wrong. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I'm about to move that. About to be holding it in my lap again. This side. Do. Okay. Now, what I want to do, difficult thing, is I'm going to kind of bend that over the end. I'm going to take this, to this, all right. Now this is always a difficult part. Well, it's a challenge. But we love a challenge. Bring it. Bring that challenge. Fold that over. Look at that. Oh, it's going to fit lovely. Come on, behave yourself. Oof. Again, gotta love, gotta love. Now, gotta pop that back down like so. It's gonna fit. It's gonna fit. It's gonna fit. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Now, if at this point it's too big, you pop it back out. You take up one edge, just a little bit in, and you're good to go again. So don't get discouraged if it's not quite right the first time, because I've had it happen a lot. All right, you get yourself down there. Now I'm just going to pin this in. Big pet peeve of mine. When you open the bag, you shouldn't see which, hello, look at how well this matched for thread. That line where we sewed it together, which it's a little more blatant over here, okay? Your lining should be sewn right up to it. Hide your mechanics. Now, when we open some purses, is that the way they're manufactured in other places? Not necessarily, but you know what? We do that. We hide it. We make it look beautiful. Now, this having that stuff on it, I'm going to have to come back through and kind of foots at those pinholes that I'm putting into it to get them to disappear, because like I said, it's got this waterproofing on it. Getting that in there. Now, there are times where I really want to swear at this as I'm putting it in. Just saying, I do. I do. A little higher on this side. Because dealing with all of these pins at the top of the bag, and then how it sometimes catches on the teeth, yes, of the zipper, makes me wanna say bad words. Yes, say bad words. It does. But I really try not to do that when I'm videotaping for you guys. I try. I don't always succeed, but I try. All right. All right, why are you being difficult? Oh, I see why. A little darts are up too high. Okay. Because my little light over here keeps wanting to fall, don't have a great light catching that navy the way I need it to. There. Okay. Now, if you think, all right, Kelly, I got it. I'm going for it. I don't need to watch you sew the cording on. Go for it. Get in there. Because I know you can do it. I have complete faith in all of you to accomplish these things. Will you have to potentially unpin things? Maybe. It's always a possibility. You've seen me do it enough times. I've been doing it how long? There is no absolute. Sometimes I feel like that with parenting. But now that my kids are older, I go, dang, I wish I could fix it by just bribing them with a cookie at this point. But that definitely isn't the way anymore. Little people, little problems. Big people, woo. Let the drama commence. Did I tell you I got 2 girls? Yeah. Yep. All right. I think that's more than plenty pins. And here we go again. Ooh, love it. Love it, love it. Let's get some fresh on here. Okay. All right. Hopefully I didn't just put too much off. 1, 2, 3. Not. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Boop. And set with glue. Okay. So this, we start at this end. And we're going to start by grabbing down low and coming up near the stitch line. Oop. Okay. So now, starting from way back here, okay? It's right there. So again, we are grabbing our material. I'm kind of trying to do it on the back side of that, see? on the back side of the bend of the fabric, okay? Because then we won't see the fishing line because it'll run parallel underneath, okay? There's the... Now, you don't want to necessarily go above where the line is that you stitched in, because so the sewing line, you're coming just below it. Because if you don't, what can happen is you can see fishing line on this side if the purse gets really big. If it's chocked full of good stuff. Do I need to go a little higher? I'm seriously having issues with catching where the stitch line is. There it is. Oh, come on. Here it is. There it is. Okay. Keep plugging away, guys. Keep plugging away. We're getting there. I know you're like, Kelly, you haven't even made it halfway. I know. Well, we're still getting there. Okay, so this is where it gets fun. So I'm trying to catch, I'm trying to catch just enough zipper to do one more stitch. Okay, like, no, don't do that. Okay, it's way back there, right? So now we grab some there. And as much on our needle on the inside. I kind of feel with your finger how far back in it's going. Come out the end. There. Okay. Like that. Alright. So then we push all that way. Oop. Alright. And that holds that bit, that full length, back into there. Okay. Now, I'm going to be putting cording in there. So I'm going to bring that through there. Right. My knee-jerk reaction was to just yank it, but then it would have knotted the material. Okay. And then bring it. I'm going to bring it up there. Thinking, Kelly, you're coming right up in the needlepoint. What the heck? Well, the beauty of this is that it'll hide in plain sight. And actually, I think I'm going to bring it up over here, and I'm going to knot it so that if anything happens, the line breaks, anything like that, I don't have to go all the way back. I can knot it here, and I know I'm safe. And I don't have to, reinvent the wheel. Because, yeah, it does happen. And it's always at the worst spot. So let's just head that off. All right, so I'm going to go in there with my finger. Trying to catch that fabric. Where is it? Oh, good. See it? Can you see it? It's right there. Okay. Gotta turn it around, put my finger in there to push against it. And then kill my thumb trying to get it to pull through. Okay. All right. I know, I know. Ew. Whatever takes the glue off is what works for me. Okay, so I gotta pull that side open, and our stitch line is way down here. All right, come on, Kelly. Really hard to get the angle. Take you out. Move that down. Sugar. Okay, I'm going to come all the way out here. I don't care. It's kind of a big leap, but with the big leap, I can come back. Okay, make sure it's not popping out so I can't see it. Okay. I can come back a bit so it's not a big gap. I can come in the material, the lining material, further back. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now we can start cruising again. Hopefully. Doing this kind of so blindly that I get really paranoid that it's going to be seen on the outside. So I'm sorry, but nothing's worse than seeing the shine of this after you've finally gotten through sewing it in. Okay. Ow. Ooh, panicked for a second there. Thought I saw a piece. Let's review. Nothing so far. Very good. Oop. Mhm. Gonna roll that pinhole down. Yeah. Oh, come on now. Why are you being such a nudge? There we go. Okay. push this in back behind where that zipper is. Did I just move it too much? It is. Back out to there. And we're going to knot it. Hey, 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 hey. And bring the tail through. And done. Okay. Now, this is our lovely bag. Okay, that's it. Ta-da! Zip. Beauty, right? Okay, like I said, I'm putting on cording. Okay, last bit. Sewing the cording on. Again, not an exact match for the blue, but we do the best we can with what we've got. So when I'm sewing cording on, I like it to be the needle point facing to the left, because as I come up on the right, it hides any bits that pop through. So I put this in, push it down in. Might have to open this up. There we go. In. Already gotten our knot in here. This and like, oh, that glue at the beginning. Oh. Okay. Now you may say, Kelly, I've done enough. I don't mind the edge. That's fabulous. Thank you very much. You might be laughing at me saying, yeah, right, I'm not tackling this ever. All right. No matter how many times you tell me I can do it, and not happening. Wouldn't blame you. I'm going in between the twists, spearing right through it into the needle point. And it's basically just like a giant backstitch. The more you backstitch, the more fishing line is laying across to hold it down. I'm coming up through the back side of the needle point, right in that seam. Okay, like that. Through. And there. Again, because it is dark, I do not want, I want to make sure that I'm really pulling this down. Putting a little welly on it. Because I don't want to, I want to get that fishing line sliding right down in between. If I don't, you're going to see the shine of your fishing line. It's very pronounced on navy and blacks. I don't know. I think it just adds just another little design element. A little bit of polish, flair. And don't say, well, Kelly, how am I going to get welt piping on there? I don't know. Because I want it to look nice and smooth. Yeah, I don't know. See, I can see that bit. Why are you showing? There. It's not twisting over. There it goes. Pull. Come on. Sounds like it's raining pretty good out there. At least the cars driving by make it sound like there's a lot of water on the road. Didn't we do this side already? Feels like it. Using up all that oil on my face. My parking lot is really dark. What's up? Interesting. So I'm going back, kind of cranking this cording because I'm seeing shiny spots. Interesting. Don't usually see that. Makes me wonder. Why are you doing that, my little friend? Is it because you are floss and not pearl? I don't know. Maybe. I'm gonna have to do more fishing line. gonna get me right to the top and make me put more on. All right, fine. Get it over with. Now, if for some reason you have some sins to hide across the top because some waste canvas showed or something like that, you're going to start on one side, go all the way around, go on the opposite side, and finish up on the opposite side. Keep hearing something. All my parking lot lights are out. So it's kind of creeping me out. If I have a critter in here, like a little mouse, I'm freaking myself out here, guys, so sorry. You know what I found out? That I can't do these videos even if someone is here being quiet, because then they hear some of the silliness that I say and how I talk to you. and I'm not as, I don't know, a little more self-conscious. Yeah, that's what I figured out. I don't know if it's better without. You can see more subtle. Yeah, for the last stitch I do it. I think it's more about the way I hold it and the angle of the light that it catches to be able to see what I'm doing. All right, so now all you have to do is think, Kelly. Get your mind off of who may be looking in these giant windows at you. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to imagination and scaring myself to death. That's why I don't watch scary movies. Way too active of an imagination. I don't need someone else to scare me. I scare myself all the time. It's just when I get up in the morning and look in the mirror. Okay. There. Not that I will ever use this skinny little piece of navy, but never know. Got it. Glue it. Smash it flat. Right. And then I have to did not close that hole. It should be right here. Come on. There. When it opens, yes. See nothing. Perfect. Yay. One more stitch in through here, out, up. Come on. Come on. Stitch it through there. And because it looks oh, come on. So this cording is barely sitting down in there. So I have to push it back down in because I just pulled it back out with my curved needle accidentally. Then to come in through here, out through the front. Okay. I'm going to come back through here, over into the lining. My giddy aunt, really. So that'll stay up there. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There. Gotta make sure that it's gonna stay there where it needs to stay. Going to go like this. 1, 2. And there. Okay, so, kind of lied to you. We got one more thing we have to do. Okay. Everything's down where we want it to be. There's a stupid fly in here too. Oh my gosh. So, what do we have to do next? We have to put on a pull tab, a zipper pull. So I wasn't sure if this was gonna work, pink or white. I think we do pink. It's nice and subtle, very simple. No, I'm not putting an ugly split ring on it. Okay. All right. My jewelry making pliers, they're rounded. Okay, like so. Okay, so all we gotta do is insert these in here. Okay. And open that up a little bit. We slide it on. And from the side, I think is the thin point. Yeah, it is. Pull the ring up so we can get at it. So. Then all it spells get out the big tool. Okay. I don't like using that too much because I don't want it to there you go. Zipper. Zipper it open. Take out my makeup. Boop, 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 boop. And zipper it closed. Just like that. Bring this up. Pull you back a little bit. Okay. Alright. And there is your clutch. Or your cosmetic bag. Alright. All that room in there. Yeah. All that room. We did pretty well. Thank you for sticking with me during this oh so fun evening of pulling it out in the clutch. Okay. Move this a little. Alright, see? Alright. Let's hope they love it and that you learned everything you wanted to learn about how to make a clutch. Thanks for joining me, guys. Message, you know how to get a hold of me if you need any help. You guys take care.